times in the 70s at the Costa Mesa Speedway. The girls were hopping, the boys were looking, the trophy girls were out, the beautiful women of Speedway. It was amazing. Danny Berserko Becker. Danny was just an amazing rider. He could just ride anything. He was a wizard on that two wheels. He was fast. Danny Berserko Becker. He was so good. He could have probably gone to Europe and won a world championship. Danny Becker was that good. He could just have that balance all over the speedway bike. He beat the top riders. He was a top rider. Danny Becker was just amazing. Sponsored by Ron's mini bike shop as a young boy. He learned from Ron and was sponsored by Ron. Became the great talent that he is and was. Rest in peace, Danny Becker. Just an amazing rider. He had the gift. He had the gift. And he was just a handsome guy with a good balance, made cycle news, and he was just a great man, sadly missed. He had passed away, and he was beloved. Billy Gray was one of the most popular speedway riders in the 70s. He learned at an early age how to spin that bike. He was a gifted rider. He was a natural speedway rider, and he was a Hollywood star too. And he just became famous. He was a team rider on the Orange County Eagles, and he was just a gifted guy and a movie actor, the first movie actor, Bud, on Father Knows Best. And he's still living today, doing well. That is Billy Gray. Jim Fishbeck, known as the Animal. He raced desert racing before Speedway. He was a star rider. And he was a grizzly guy. He was a big dude. He would knock people off. He had lots of traction on that bike. He would just dart in front of riders, and he would do wheelies all over the track. He was interviewed by Bruce Flanders and was just a star, wild man. He just rode that bike and got traction all over the place. When Jim Fishbeck was on the track, you better watch out, because Jim was amazing. And he rode just some of the fastest, the best races, the most wildest races in Speedway. This guy was an animal, and he retired and has a son that raced Speedway and helped out and sponsored his son, the little animal.
I love you.
Wild Bill Cody. Wild Bill was a fast flat tracker TT rider. He was a world-class racer before Speedway. He became a star. He was a star, and he was a captain of the Speedway team in the early days. He caught on to Speedway fast and became one of the very top 5 money makers, and he just spun those laps. He was popular with the fans. Larry Huffman gave him that name, Wild Bill. But Bill Cody isn't wild. While most of the riders were partying, Bill Cody saved his money and invested for the North American Jawa distributorship in Garden Grove, California. And Bill Cody has just had an amazing business, has a beautiful family, all grown up now. And Bill Cody was just a gifted rider, and he's a good businessman, and he helps the riders all the time today. Bill Cody is the most beloved a speedway rider in America history. Ed Williams. Ed was an early day revival speedway rider. He competed with the best of them, there's Scott Autry, and he knew how to ride that speedway bike. He was definitely a hot shoe. Ed Williams is just a good guy. Patrick Tumbleweed Walton. Although Tumbleweed never won a speedway race, he finished last place mostly. He was the most beloved rider in the 70s. They called him the Tumbleweed, and he was beloved by the riders, the fans, everybody. Rest in peace, Tumbleweed. Sexy Jeff Sexton. Jeff was just a hard charger. He finished second place in the United States Nationals by 1 point. He just was a leader of the Bakersfield Bandits. He was a good guy. He was very intense. Jeff Sexton was definitely a hard charger. He competed with every racer there was. Sadly, Jeff passed away. Rest in peace, Jeff Sexton. Dangerous Dub Ferrell. Dub was a dangerous rider in his early days. However, Dub cleaned it up and became a star amongst stars, getting a second place in the United States Nationals. Dub Ferrell was sponsored by Fairchild Industries, and he just had a fast bike. Dub Ferrell was a great rider, winning many championships. Dub Ferrell sponsored racers. He was just a good guy, and he's still doing well today. Dub is considered one of the true greats of modern-day speedway. Mike Conley. Mike was a very gifted rider as a young age. At 16, he won this Hare and Hound. He became a famous star. He got second place in the United States Speedway Nationals. Mike Conley was just a gifted rider. Mike Conley. Ruben Benitas. Ruben was one of my favorite stars in the 70s. I used to go to the Speedway and watch him. So motocross rider turned Speedway. He was good. He mixed it up with all the greats like Rick Woods. Ruben Benitas was a star. Ruben is a good man, a humble man, and we sure appreciate you, Ruben Benitas. Lightning Larry Shaw. Larry was lightning fast. He was a great rider. He got second place in the Nationals a few times. Larry just was a good, solid, gifted rider, and he sponsored lots of young riders like Sean McConnell with the lightning bolts and other riders. He was just a good person giving back. He was fast as lightning. That's why they called him Lightning Larry Shaw. Troy McKee. He was one of my favorite racers as a young boy. He's a hard charger. He could ride that Speedway bike. He won a few main events. That's Troy McKee. Little Stevie Grisham. Stevie was friends with, and still is, with Scott Autry to this day. He was a wild rider. He was a crazy guy for just a little guy. He raced in Europe for several Speedway teams in the British League. A gifted rider, a hard-nosed rider. He was a hard charger. He didn't mess around, and you didn't mess with this guy. He was tough. He's friends with Scott Autry to this day. They hang out, they have food, they make jokes, and they punch each other out. Steve Nutter was a gifted rider in the 70s. He was a hard charger, a good rider, and a member of the Bakersfield Bandits, the championship team. Steve Nutter was a star in American Speedway.